Hello to everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Yorker Tales. நம்மளோட Kavi has had a slight power issue. He's had a power cut. மத்தியானத்துலேருந்து it's been like that. Maybe he'll join later or next episode. But otherwise we have Aditya Junior. இந்த எபிசோட்க்கு ஆதித்யான்னு சொல்லிடலாம் because there's only one of them. Inur Aditya got tied up a little earlier, so I'm not sure he also might not join us for majority.
Do
he
do
may join us
mention
with-
do mention that he has got parental obligations. சொல்லிடுங்க.
He's got parental duties, and he's mentioned the Yorker Tales the Screaming Baby podcast if he joins. So anyway, Aditya here. Both the Adityas run a channel called Cricket Fan Zone, so they're as much big fans of cricket as anyone else, and of course that's why they're here. Please do check it out. Meanwhile, Aditya, let's start.
Yep.
Breaking news today: Kane Williamson has appointed SRH captain over David Warner. I have a few thoughts running in my mind. I'll just get to that. David Warner said some selection committee is selecting the team. So if a selection committee is selecting the team, how is it different when Kane Williamson captains this SRH side?
I still think because I think Trevor Baelish has come out and said yes, it was a decision that the selection committee made, which probably it was him and maybe Tom Moody, the director of operations or whatever. He might have also had some thoughts about it. And then I think he said Manish Pandey was dropped because he was not suitable for the Chennai track and all those things. I still think if the selection committee has the upper hand, it's not because of the dispute between David Warner and the selection committee. It's more so because David Warner is occupying a position as one of the 4 foreign players, right?
Okay,
and he's not able to contribute.
On that note, do you think the weight on him will decrease if he's not captain? He'll be able to perform better as a batsman now?
No, I don't think so, because see, they have particularly made this statement very blatant to say there will be change in combination among the foreign contingent who is going to play. So it's direct way of saying David Warner is no longer the captain. So he might be the one who is going to get the axe, right? See, Kane is being made the captain, and he's by far the best player this season, maybe along with Johnny Barrister, right? So those two are not going to get dropped. And you can't
Rashid Khan, definitely not.
You can't drop him. So who's the one other guy who they are going to drop? And see, there is someone like Jason Roy waiting in the wings, right? See, you have roped him in for some reason, right? Maybe for an injury, maybe for someone going out of form, because they don't have an Indian contingent who can play as a opener, right? So Roy looks to be the favorite to come in place of David Warner, but it looks more so like David Warner as a player could not contribute enough, which he himself accepted last game. He was the main reason for the debacle, at least in that game. And he has been struggling. To be honest, he has been struggling, right? Since there is Tom Moody and Warner being an Australian, and also Baelish has been one of the best white ball cricketing coaches, at least when you compare it with the success that England has got in the recent years, right? So it looks like it was a move that was thought through, and everyone was on agreement. And if it's an Australian way, right, if you call it Australia of late 90s or until late 2000s, they would say if you are the captain, you have to be the best player. If you don't perform consistently and you have gone past a certain age bracket, right? David Warner is close to 35 years. So it looks like there is something or the other that would have dropped in him, and he has been struggling for the last 2 seasons. It's not just this season or a couple of years. So it looks like a clear, thought-out decision, and probably they are looking at the future and say, okay, it might not be the next season. I need to understand what will be the core that I can carry forward to the next season. And David Warner might not be in my plans for that.
In fact, when there were talks that in the version there would have been a mega auction, and remember that in a mega auction you can only RTM plus retain only 2 foreigners. That means you cannot let Rashid go like that. Definitely, Rashid is not the player they're going to let go.
Hmm.
The confusion was between Warner and Williamson. Warner has been the leading run scorer for SRH from 2014 or 15, I don't remember, but he's done well till 2019. 2018 he was banned for a season, but till 2019 he was the leading run scorer. But on the other hand, you had Williamson. I mean, Warner also took them to the finals. He won the finals with them. But on the other hand, you had Williamson, who's dependable. He was in fact, in place of Warner when he was leading SRH in the 2018 season, he got the orange cap, but he was the leading run scorer for SRH that season. He took them to the finals. So it was always this confusion between who it's going to be. Supposing it was this year, who would it have been, Adi?
See, in a way, I do call this a little bit unjust on David Warner for what he has done. I mean, he has been probably SRH MVP, you can call, or the face of SRH, and he has done so much for the team. So I still thought maybe you could have given him this season. See, it's not just David Warner's problem, right? SRH has a weak middle order, and their Indian contingent are not able to do anything. If the top three don't fire, which is obviously all three foreign players, right? So it's not just David Warner being the problem. It's more to do with the team composition and the kind of players that they have picked and chose on the auction. So all those things have contributed to this. So it's like almost he's a hero for that particular franchisee. So they could have given him this season. At least they could have given him few more games, I believe, and then felt, okay, if he's not turning up with the bat, and if the entire team is capitulating, then okay, fine, fair enough. You can call that shot. But maybe it looks like they have made a really harsh call, because if you consider someone like MS, right, even Virat for that instance, Virat did not have a great season.
In fact, 10 years RCB have not qualified for. I mean, sorry, they have not won a tournament. In fact, 2017 to 19, they did not. They would not even qualify.
Going into top
4. But RCB have still placed trust on him, which I feel, like you said, it's unjust on Warner, because he's been there, like you said, MVP for all these seasons, and just because a selection committee is making these choices, I don't see the point.
I think the only reason to justify this move is David. We know him as per whatever he has said in the recent years, right? He doesn't want to play for a long time. He has a young family, and he's not looking to push his career for 3 or 4 more years. So if he has made that call, if he has said, I'm not really comfortable because I don't feel I will be the person who will be able to carry this team. If it was his call, then you can't say anything. But but the report has not come out like that. It was not said David Warner has stepped down as captain. So either it's a mutual consent. If it's a mutual consent, I still feel if the shot was taken by SRS to say we would want Kane to lead the team and we would want you to step down, I would still say that it's a little bit of a cheap shot, because you have to give your legend a little bit more time. At least that is the way it happens in subcontinent. Right? Maybe if it's Australia, we all know how Ricky Ponting was unceremoniously sacked. He said, your time is done, bye-bye. It doesn't matter, right? So, it's a little bit of both. You are playing in Indian Premier League. It's Indian brand, right? They expect you to treat players a little bit in an Indian way, I would say.
Right. Kavi has mentioned the comment, paperல spin எழுதி போட்டாலே ராய் வந்து அவுட்டா போறான். But உங்க thoughts என்ன அதுல? Roy.
I think Roy cannot play spin அப்படின்றது. It was there once, but the way he handled our spinners in the recently concluded one-day series or T20, I really don't think Roy is such a bad player of spin bowling. He is able to take the attack to the opposition. He has been all right. That's the way I saw him. And I don't know. He has faced Chahal, so I'm not sure whether that's the benchmark you can set to say he can play every spin.
உங்களை பத்தி தெரியும், உங்க தாட்ஸ் அண்ட் சாஹல் எல்லாம் நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியும். யூ ஆர் நாட் ஹிஸ் பிகெஸ்ட் ஃபேன். I'm just being a little polite here by saying you're not the biggest fan. உங்க thoughts பத்தி தெரியும். ஆனா
So yeah, I think Roy will be better than what Warner is now, at least in the season. And Roy and Barristow have been one of the best opening pair in one-day cricket. Of course, they have not got enough chance for T20 cricket, but
right.
It's a love-hate story.
Okay. இந்த கொஸ்டினுக்கு கேன் வில்லியம்சன் கேப்டன்சி நம்ம ஆதித்யா கேட்டிருக்காரு. He took them to the finals. After that, 2019 it was a mixed bag because he was injured on and off. Bhuvneshwar Kumar went there. He led a few matches in that season. Anna, Kane Williamson, your thoughts on his leadership?
I think Kane Williamson on leadership, it's kind of a blueprint that he has set for New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
His calm and settled demeanor has always helped them. Right, and he has led them from front whenever their team was in a bad situation. And SRH, it's no different. Whenever he was given the responsibility as a captain or not as a captain, he has always been among the leadership group, and he has always contributed with his bat, and he has led by as an example. So I think Kane Williamson or a captaincy should only be a big plus for SRH. அது கண்டிப்பா சொல்லலாம். But again, can Kane do anything for the likes of Manish Pandey or Vijay Shankar or anyone else who's playing in the middle order to play a little better?
Aditya, I have a question. First match la உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கா இல்லையா தெரியல. Vijay Shankar was sent ahead of Abdul Samad in a situation that only Samad could have rescued SRH. And 2 matches back or 2-3 matches back, Vijay Shankar was kept till the end when you had a middle order struggling. In fact, Vijay Shankar would have been ideal at a point where he could have rotated strike. But he was sent at 7 or 8 or something. But in the decisions, why are they coming wrong for SRH?
See, I mean, SRH oda lineup la paathom appadina, as we said, the top 3 ku appuram, see, if you play Manish Pandey at number 4, right? First of all,
அந்த மேட்ச்ல மனிஷ் பாண்டே was not playing. அதனால தான் கேட்டேன். இல்லனா மனிஷ் பாண்டே
வேற யார் இருக்காங்கன்னு நான் யோசிக்கிறேன். Say for example, if you ask me, where would Vijay Shankar fit into the team அப்படின்னு கேட்டா, I am really not sure. See, he can fit into a team like Mumbai, right? Wherein everyone around him will play good. He will be the only fringe batsman. So on his given day, maybe he can do something, but you cannot rely on him to do anything. Like அந்த மாதிரி விஜய் சங்கரை நீங்க போட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா, he can be a decent player, but top 3 க்கு அப்புறம் it's a free fall SRH. So
அந்த free fall போன மேட்ச்ல they were going blind order. அவங்க they said that openers கேச்சு வில்லியம்சன் தாவணும், அது கேச்சு பாண்டே ஜாதவ் அப்படிதான். But I mean, look, I'm not saying anything. They performed. Williamson, Jadhav and all performed. They hit a few 4-6s and all. But you had a Jagadish Sachit who hit balls well in the previous match. You have Rashid Khan who can probably finish with a flourish as well. Instead of sticking with blind order, SRH I'm talking about KKR, Punjab. இவங்க blind batting order வச்சே follow பண்றாங்க. Why can't they think on the situation? Why aren't they getting the players for the situation?
See, I mean, I will stick to SRH and I will say this, right?
No. Definitely, because that's the topic. But I'm saying the bottom 4 at the moment are doing the same, are making the same mistakes.
True. I mean, again, I would say it's because of the personnel they have in that particular lineup. Adhaan na solra, because see, Samad would be the best of the lot in the middle order. To be honest, maybe Nabi has a chance, but they could not afford to play Nabi because top 3 and then Rashid Khan ellame foreign players, right? So Nabi could not get consistent amount of games. So abhi paakarappo Samad is their best batsman, right? And he has proven that he could do in probably half a season last time. That is a sample size you have of Samad, right? Domestically has been good, no doubt, but IPL level, that's the only thing you can see. So abhi paatha appadina, Priyam Garg, who has not got a game till now, is not good enough. Is what they are saying us, or that is what his record says, right? And then Abhishek Sharma has not been able to do the job. right? Kedar Jadhav, we all know about the stats and what he has done with CSK. So he's not good enough to do the job. And then you have someone like Vijay Shankar, right?
Yeah.
If you take Vijay Shankar's career as a T20 player, how many games he was able to win for you with the bat? Hardly. I can't remember games that he is able to consolidate and win or go for big shots and win you games. He's neither this nor that. So out of this 4 or 5, the only player is Samar who can come in and strike the ball well.
Yeah.
Right? Adutadu maybe Suchit or Rashid Khan. Honestly speaking, from whatever we have seen.
Let's look at Vamshir's question. It's actually in the situation வந்து பொருத்தமா இருக்கும். Holder over Roy, given their middle order issues, would it be a solution?
See, again, now if you are going to select someone like Russell or you are going to select someone like Pollard, I will say yes, right? But is Holder an out and out T20 player? I'm not saying he's a bad T20 player, but he is not going to come down the order and resolve the situation that SRH is facing. See,
not on all 8 matches from now, but probably on 2 matches, a couple of 2-3 situations he can do that. But
he can. But again, what is SRH trying to solve now? Other than Kane Williamson can become the captain, right? But what would you do with this middle order? Who would you swap and change? I'm not really sure. Do they have the resources to do it? See, I cannot say you can play Manish Pandey and then this guy Priyam Garg or Jadhav or Vijay Shankar or anyone in the same lineup. It makes you a very, very weak T20 team. They are a weak T20 team because of all these things, right? See, number 4, if you play Pandey, even let us say I'm playing Vijay Shankar at number 5 or number 6. Just tell me how that will help their team. What is that he's going to come and change? I don't understand that. Again, they have to go back to their auction board and understand, okay, we want to create a T20 team. Do we really have the personnel to create a T20 team? See, they bought Kedar Jadhav for 2 crores. They bought Kedar Jadhav for 2 crores. On what basis? Why did they need Kedar Jadhav?
Actually, two episodes back, Kavi Vande, he had said something. He said that SRH had opted to go with they were bidding with CSK for Krishnappa Gautam for a decent margin, and since they couldn't get that, they had got Jadhav, who's probably a like to like or something.
I will tell you this even now. Krishnappa Gautam will not resolve their issue. See, நம்ம இப்போ கன்சிஸ்டண்டா விளையாடுற டீம் நம்ம நல்லா பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, if you look at their middle order, right? If you look at someone like some team like RCB, they have someone like Maxwell and AB de Villiers. Right? If you look at CSK, you have Jadeja, you have someone like Sam Curran, you have someone like Raidu, Raina, who are all proven performers in the team. Even though MS does not contribute a lot, even Shardul Thakur lower down the order edutha kuda, he's someone who can come in and strike the ball at a rapid pace. Right? So this is one of those consistent teams. Mumbai over the years paathom appadina, if you say Pollard, wow, okay, match winner. If you say Hardik Pandya, on his day he's a match winner. Even Krunal Pandya, probably on his day he can do some damage.
Pona match actually, I think after Ishan Kishan was dropped, they dropped Ishan Kishan for a poor half, which I think is fair enough. He's struggling, but they brought in Krunal Pandya at 4. Were you surprised by that move?
I wouldn't say I was surprised by that move, having seen Ishan Kishan getting dropped. They wanted a left-hander, and I think Krunal Pandya on his day is capable of playing that role. But I mean, I thought dropping Ishan Kishan was a little bit of a harsh call because he was struggling on Chennai track. It was not like he was struggling all along. And Jayant
even Quinton de Kock was struggling at Chepauk.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looked a little bit of a harsh call on Ishan Kishan, but again, I don't think Jayant Yadav is going to retain his place for a longer time the way he bowled. So I still feel Ishan Kishan will be back in the side. But I mean, coming back to SRH or a problem, I think they don't have the personnel. If Samad is back from injury, will he be able to do something for them? Yes, on a couple of games. But as a team, can they be consistent enough for Dinaketa? I don't know. Maybe Kane Williamson should open the innings along with Barristow and then probably push Manish Pandey to number 3 and then think of, okay, if I'm going to play Nabi or Holder at number 5 or number 6, maybe I have to push someone like Samath to number 4 or number 5, and then sandwich Vijay Shankar in between, and then try to make a game out of whatever they have left over. Because, see, from there, top 4 is still possible, very much possible, but they need to do this change. I don't think
given they've changed their captaincy still in the first half, a match in the first half of the season, they have to win. They have to win another 7 matches out of 8. Six or 7 matches out of 8.
Difficult. The way they are playing, it's difficult.
Yeah. So, how much do you think, supposing they bat first, how much do you think Kane's captaincy is going to be different from Warner?
If they bat first?
Yeah.
See, again, Warner when they were batting first, probably Warner was one of those main players who was struggling, right? Because if the example if you look at Ajinkya Rahane or Shikhar Dhawan of previous years, they don't give away their wicket. They eat enough deliveries, and it becomes very difficult for anyone coming lower down the order to try to up the scoring rate. Yeah. So Warner innings he was consuming enough deliveries. He was not able to accelerate. And 30-40 balls if you get out, considering your middle order is having a lot of issues, it becomes very difficult for you to put a decent score on the board. Correct. So if Kane Williamson is going to lead the side, as I said, I would want him to open the innings for starters, so that he should dictate the pace of the first innings from the word go. And his form looks to be very good, so that if he can put enough runs on the board, maybe the middle order will have some confidence. If you have scored at a better rate, even if you get out, they have some momentum to carry forward. Correct. So I think Kane as a captain, Kane as a batsman, he need to open the innings and set the tone for the game. If he could do that, and Barrister is someone who can do it. He has been doing it. He just needs a consistent partner. So maybe if they can set the tone, who knows? Maybe their middle order could gain some confidence and they can post a competitive goal.
Yeah. Okay. One final note before we go to the next topic. Who do you think are the selectors that Warner mentioned?
I think Trevor Bellish has clearly came out and said, right? It's us. It's him, probably. He said it's the selector's call, so it's his call. I think he has said that. We decided. So we, in the sense, he's the head of the clan there. So it's him.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's get to our next part of this of the pod, where we look at the 21st to 24th match of this season. First of all, how do you think the season has gone? I know there are only 4 teams that look really competitive at this point, but how do you think the season has gone thus far?
I think we have to first give a lot of credit for players to staying in the tough bubble with so many horrifying news and things that are happening outside, right? It's obviously going to affect their mental psyche. So a lot of credit for them to putting on a show, staying there, staying in that strict bubble with their families away and all that. So, this IPL season is more than just cricket. It's more about giving us a lot of joy in this sorrowful situation, right? So for that, a lot of credit to them, and I'm sure that would have impacted performance of a lot of teams and a lot of players. So I would say, considering all that, this IPL has been really good. There are not a lot of things that you can pinpoint and say, they could have done this, they could have done this. You can say that, but you have to think from the larger picture, right? I think everyone is putting up a show and they're trying their level best, right? So I would say teams that are not doing good has more to do with whatever they did on auction table. It's not the players or it's not the coaching staff all the time to be blamed, right? If you look at Punjab, or if you look at KKR or SRH, right? We all know where the problem is. They don't have any other personnel who could come in and change the situation, right?
So, RR, do you think the only problem is there are 3-4 overseas players leaving? or is that still?
I think so. I think so. The moment you don't have Jaffer Archer, if your bowling unit is going to rely on him so much, and then see Stokes might not have done a lot for you in the
With the
last
ball?
season or
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but still Stokes on his day is far
These
better player than anyone you have in the
these
BB.
guys are characters in your team. They're characters you
Yeah,
want around you.
correct. True that. So I think RR had a major blow when both the star players are not part of their team now.
Yeah,
Having said that, again RR has a little bit of a soft spot in their own unit because they actually don't have a proper opening partner to join Josh Butler.
yeah,
Even when Stokes was playing, I'm not sure whether they had a proper opening partner because Butler was coming down the order when Stokes was
yeah,
opening or something.
yeah. But
So that is
the
one of the
problem
issue
with
they have.
Butler, problem with Butler is, I mean, not with Butler, but if Butler opened, the problem lay with the finishing, and if he was finishing, the problem lay with the opening. So
Yeah,
there's
that's what they needed. Actually, again, except for Sanju Samson, right? They don't seem to have a strong Indian batting contingent at their end. Uh,
yeah,
that kind of shows there is a big weakness in your lineup. See, Rian Parag is a fantastic talent, no doubt, but you cannot put so much weight on a 18-year or 19-year-old kid and say you win matches every second game for us. It doesn't happen that way, correct? And who else? I mean, if not for Sanson,
Rahul
who else would you
Tewatia.
point out and say?
Yeah,
He's more of a pinch hitter, but
yeah,
is he a batsman?
yeah. Uh,
I
on
think
that
that's where
note,
they have
on
issue.
that note, kudos to Yashasvi Jaiswal. He's come out and shown a lot of positivity with the bat.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think he did they miss him for the first few games?
Considering the way he was struggling in last IPL, I would say it's a clever move from RR not to expose him at the start because
Okay.
when you are such a young player and you had a horrible first season,
Yeah,
it kind of haunt you very early if you don't perform in the subsequent
yeah,
season too, right?
yeah,
So I would say they did make a clever move, and it looks like he has done a lot of work on his game.
yeah,
He doesn't look like the same player who he was last season.
yeah,
He's trying different things. He's
yeah,
trying to push above his weight and then score at a rapid pace. So credit
yeah.
to him for the way he has shown a lot of character to come out better this season. But again, again, Jaiswal cannot be someone who's going to
Yeah.
act as a solution to RR. Maybe in another couple of years, he could be a very good player for them.
Yeah.
But this season or whatever they are facing this season, I don't think Jaiswal can turn it
And
around.
given how he's worked in the last 5 months, it's been 5 months since the last IPL.
Hmm.
2 years is a big time. It's a long time for you to actually work on your skill sets, I suppose.
Yeah, two years gives you enough amount of time and space for you to get better.
Yeah.
And he's going to play a lot of domestic cricket in between. And uh, he
Another
is. I
question.
mean, hmm,
Just one more question. They have a mega auction next year. Uh, I don't know if Jaiswal is going to be retained by this unit or not. But supposing he goes to another team, would that really help him as well?
uh, see, as I said, right, he looks to be a good talent. He's
Yeah.
trying to improve. He's an improved player. But if I think about where would Jaiswal fit in, right? In CSK's philosophy, he won't even get a single game. So there is no point of
Yeah.
speaking of whether CSK will go for him.
No, but they're planning on two new teams as well. So adds
Yeah,
the
maybe that is something that we cannot say anything now. We don't know who's
yeah,
going to be the
yeah,
owner and what will be their philosophy and all that.
yeah,
Right now, KKR has a vacant spot for opener, but are they looking for an opener like Jaiswal? How different he would be from a Nitish Rana or Shipman Gill? I don't think he's a 145 strike rate player. Jaiswal is not that kind of a six-hitting machine, right? So I don't think he would do a lot different for KKR. Mumbai has a settled top order. SRH, I think still they have capable top order. I don't think they will go for him. I'm just trying to figure out who will be the team. Delhi, there is no scope.
What about
Uh,
Mumbai? Suppose what about the Mumbai Indians?
no, because I feel, see, Mumbai, the reason why I don't say that is because, see, Rohit Sharma, as long as he plays, it looks like he's going to open one.
Sure,
and
but
then
at the other end, do you think they're going to retain Deacock for that?
see, even if they don't retain Deacock, right? Ishan Kishan is a bona fide opener, right?
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
bona fide opener. He has been fantastic as an opener. It's a sad situation that he has to play a make switch role in the middle.
I have a lot of back questions regarding this because now Ishan is capped and he's performed well in the limited chances he's got for India. Mumbai, I mean, I don't know. They might go all out on him. They may not. But supposing they do lose him, would they then like to look at someone like Yashasvi Jaiswal, who hasn't yet been capped, or someone like that?
See, I mean, it will be a tough call to make because again, right, Ishan Kishan and Jaiswal are exactly different players, right? Jaiswal is more of a classy cricketer who's trying to do something different to become a T20 player. But Ishan Kishan, I would say, is an out and out T20 player, a slam bang cricketer. That's why he struggles on tricky tracks, right? But when you give him a track that has enough amount of true bounce and carry, he will go full bunkers, right? So if you lose Ishan Kishan and Quinton de Kock, and I don't think Jaiswal will be the replacement for them because Rohit Sharma on one hand is going to play a slow-paced innings. So they need someone to start to attack from the word go. So in that case, I don't think Jaiswal will be the option for them.
Sorry. Okay, let's look at KKR. I'm glad you brought up Gill and Nitish Rana. நேற்றுக்கு வந்து after the loss to Punjab, BMAC வந்து சொன்னாரு, he came out with a lot of criticism and I'm not sure that's the right approach as well, to throw your team under the bus or something like that. But first of all, are they putting too much pressure on the openers?
I think it's time that they have started to put pressure. It should have been done long back. That's the way I would say. See,
okay,
batsman like KL Rahul.
நான் சொல்ற பிரஷருக்கும் இதுக்கும் கொஞ்சம் வித்தியாசம் because now the pressure is on them to perform, but was it there from the beginning? Was that pressure வந்து முதல்ல இருந்தே இருந்ததா? You have to perform.
I think it should have been there because Brendan McCullum says we wanted to play an attacking brand of cricket. Right? We all know that's what Brendan McCullum is all about. Right?
His ideology.
So if you are the coach, your ideology is to play attacking brand of cricket. The first question I would ask Brendan McCullum is Shubman Gill an attacking opener? I don't think so. Is Nitish Rana even an opener? I don't think so. So I mean, you are asking a player to play a make switch role, and you are trying to make them do something that you will be able to do, but will they be able to do? I mean, it's a wrong expectation to be set for wrong set of players. And KKR had the nerve to come out and say that in this auction we are just going to be spectators. On what basis? On what basis? So if Brendan McCullum says I want to play this brand of cricket, on what basis you can sit down and say we don't want to go into action?
You have to get the players for that. It's
exactly. See, exactly. This is just like saying I'm going to play a defensive game and I go in with Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya, Pollard and say, hey, come on, these guys are not able to play a defensive game to get me a draw in Test cricket. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. Whatever you try to do, they are not going to play on a 5th day wicket and get you a draw. So you have to play the right personnel.
Look, if you give me a partnership like Cheteshwar Pujara and Rishabh Pant in the middle, you have that ideal mix you want. They've been phenomenal in the chances they got at Australia on home turfs, and they've given the team what they want. But here, I don't know what just the ideology does not match what. If you wanted an opening, I'm not giving you a permanent solution here, but if you wanted a attacking batsman to open, then why not have Narain open instead of having it at 4 or.
See, if you really wanted Narain to be in your team, right? Looking at the way he bowls, I don't think he's going to be effective for you. So your problem is with your top order not able to give you a quick start which you expect. either you have to play Narayan and Tirupati as the opener. That would be the ideal combination. If you choose two openers, those are the two openers you can play with the current squad that you have got, right? And then the question arises: where would Gill play? See, again, the problem is you have too many players who are not T20 players, right? And you are trying to make a T20 team out of them. See, if you tell me, can Gill play in CSK? Yes. Can Gill play in Mumbai? Yes. Can Gill play in Delhi? I'll still say yes. He has a chance. He can play in that team, because if he looks around, it's not him who has to be the aggressor. There are so many aggressors in and around. I have a particular role, that is, I will anchor. Once I am set, I am good enough a player who can find gaps, who has the ability at times to clear the boundary, at times. Not clear every now and then. He's not a six-hitter.
He's a timer. He's a timer of the ball.
He's a brilliant timer of the ball. So now, if you play him as an opener, you have an inconsistent Nitish Rana. Again, not a great hitter of the ball. He can time the ball well, but not a six-hitter. And then you have a Rahul Tirupati playing a makeshift role at number 3. And then you have an inconsistent Ian Morgan. And then you have a DK.
You have a Morgan who's not performing. He's performed once. He's not performing, neither as a captain nor as a batsman.
Nothing. Their entire batting unit is just about Russell. If Russell fires, they go to a competitive score. If Russell doesn't fire, they struggle. That's all their team is.
Let's take the match 2 days back against Delhi. And Russell, he wasn't able to time the ball for some time. He used Rabada's pace to actually take him to strike rate which is respectable. Adve periya vishayam. On top of this, Delhi 155 on the track. Kolkata on the track 155. I don't think it was enough. Even the way shots started.
See, I don't understand when a coach like Brendan McCullum comes out and says we are going to make changes in the playing 11 and we wanted the players to express themselves. They didn't do it. As much as you can blame the players, did you set them up for success? I don't think that's a T20 team. What are you see? And what is the point of playing Sunil Narayan at number 4?
First of all, let's he says that we're going to change the playing 11. Let me just tell you the players who are there in the team: Karun Nair, Gurkirat Singh Man, Pawan Negi, Ben Cutting, Sheldon Jackson, Tim Seifert, Harbhajan Singh, Kuldeep Yadav. These are the players who you have in the squad. You have Lockie Ferguson, who's not yet found a spot in the 11. What's happening? Why is Lockie Ferguson not getting a spot? I mean, look, Pat Cummins for all the performance he's given, is he the permanent solution? He's playing like a batting all-rounder for your team at the moment. He's playing like an all-rounder at the moment.
See, again, the question is what is that they are expecting out of each player? See, my question to Brendan McCullum would be this: you can speak so much about the players letting the team down, but what is your message to them? And did you check? Okay, fine. What role does Pat Cummins does? He's an opening bowler who can come in and bowl hard lengths, and he can push the batsman on the back foot. That's his role, right? And he can nick a few. He can probably crash the timber a few times. That's what he does. He's not someone who is going to give you Yorkers or slower balls. He's not that kind of a bowler, right? So you have to make use of him in the first 6. Last game they did not do that.
First 6, he came the 6th over and bowled better than any other bowler.
Exactly. So what are you expecting from? See, if you say Pat Cummins as a bowler has failed us, I would say you as a team has failed Pat Cummins equally. Because you did not define him the role. You should have defined him the role.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Pat Cummins for his generous contribution. And everyone else. Who else?
Binga did.
Yeah, Binga did 42 lakhs.
Shikhar Dhawan and there are a lot of players.
These guys are actually helping out the country when we need them the most in both the entertainment factor and in the needs of the country. So big thank you to them. But let's get back to our KKR problems.
So see, as I said, right, what would you change in KKR? That's the only question. Who is going to be that person who's going to turn the tide against you, which is now towards you? I don't know. I'm not really sure because see, Dre Rush had a couple of great seasons, right? But
Yeah.
then his performances have been here and there.
Yeah.
DK, for all the plaudits that you can give him for his keeping and being a fantastic personal around the team, DK, the batsman, is not going to do anything different for you. That is his capability. That is the limitation with which he plays. So
Yeah.
he's not going to score runs for your team and rescue your team. That's not
Not all the
that's
time.
not what
Not all the
DK is
time,
about.
at least. Yeah. Not all the
He
time.
can't do that. So
Yeah.
who's that one player in your team who you can say, yeah, you know what, this lad will go and get 600 runs at a decent strike rate, and he will be the MVP. Name one player in KKR ranks who can promise you that yes, this is the faithful I trust him. I
Well,
don't
it's
see
not
anyone.
Morgan. It's definitely not Morgan.
No, it's not Morgan. Morgan has never been consistent. He has not been consistent even for England. He's
Yeah.
been surrounded by superstars. So Morgan is not the star batsman. Let's all
Definitely
agree to
not.
that.
Yeah.
He's a very good captain and he's a top leader, yes, and he's a decent batsman. But if you look at Morgan and say, hey, you know what, I want 550, 600 runs, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get that. Who's that? I don't know. Brendan McCullum can say all he wants, but who are you going to say? I don't think Shubman Gill will score 500 runs for you.
I haven't really expected this of BMAC exactly. BMAC has been for New Zealand he's been a completely different personnel, but for KKR it's just not that kind of BMAC.
But
I
again, he's the coach. What else he can do? He was a player back then. He said, "I will play this brand of cricket." He was able to go out and play. As a coach, you have to sit and see the shambles that your team is putting in and day out. You are
Yeah.
helpless, right, as a coach.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, yeah, I see KKR is in big trouble at the moment. They just
It's in free fall. It's in free fall for last couple of seasons, and that's why
last
that's what,
from 2016 they've been a free fall. After Gambhir left, they've
in
been a
fact,
free fall.
honestly saying, but probably the effect of bad leadership or
I found
bad options.
Dinesh Karthik's leadership much better than Morgan's because Dinesh Karthik is a natural. We saw him in the Smacks this year.
No, but tell me honestly, what would a leader be able to do when you don't have an adequate team? See,
Look,
it's like saying, you know what, Ricky Ponting, you just go into the Bangladesh unit and then help them win a World Cup. It doesn't matter. How can Ricky Ponting go into a Bangladesh unit and look at all the players and say, yo, you know what, you play this brand of cricket and this is what I expect? He can be a captain, he can be the player, he can be the coach, he can be the president of Bangladesh. Nothing will change. You need to have talent. I don't
yeah,
see KKR having enough amount of talent to put on a T20 show.
yeah.
They're relying on too many slow, inconsistent players. And Brendan McCullum says they couldn't attack. How do you expect Shubman Gill to go and attack? Is he an attacking, an out and out attacking player? When was he out and out
என்னதான்
attacking?
என்னதான் intent இருந்தாலும் there's a limitation to which they play. See,
Exactly.
see, see, Shubman Gill has shown the intent in the games that he's played. He can only go out there and try doing what the coach wants of him, but executionங்கிறது வந்து எக்ஸிகியூஷனுக்கும் எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷனுக்கும் எவ்வளோ கேப்னா இட்ஸ் நாட் ஹேப்பனிங்.
இப்போ சொன்ன இல்லையா நீ, திஸ் இஸ் த எக்ஸாக்ட் வேர்ட். எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷனுக்கும் அவங்க போடுற டீமுக்கும் ஐ ரியலி டோன்ட் சி எனி ரியாலிட்டி செக். I can see Brendan McCullum is angry, but who is he angry at? Is he angry at the players actually, or is he angry at the management? அதுதான் தெரியணும். I'm not sure he's really angry at his players. It looks like he's
I'm
more
not
angry
sure
at the management.
because the BMAC I know has not been that kind of person. He's played for Kochi Tuskers Kerala. He played for CSK. He's played for RCB. He played for Gujarat Lions and KKR. These 5 teams, the BMAC I know, and of course New Zealand. The BMAC I have seen over the years is not the guy who throws his team under the bus.
I mean, has he ever been put in a situation where his team has let him down so many times, or his team could not play the way he wants them to play. I mean, see again, if I look at Nitish Rana and say he has let down Bas, I don't think he has let down Bas. He has always tried to attack. He tried. He's not a player who was just a sitting duck, just getting singles and doubles and then becoming a pain for the team. He always tried to attack, but as you said earlier, there's a limitation for each player. So what are you expecting out of Nitish Rana is very, very important. Again, you are expecting him to strike at 135, 140 and score 600 runs. I mean, it's not Nitish Rana's fault. He's not yet there. He cannot deliver that for you.
Actually, but one thing I have to tell KKR, that kudos just sticking with one opening partnership for 6 matches. Pona season put opening partnerships la partha, they had Tripathi and Rana. They had Rana and Gil. They had Narayan and someone else coming in. They had you வந்து பார்த்தா ஒரு 4-5 opening partnerships இருக்கும் in 14 matches. So this is a major vast improvement for them. But
இது எப்படி தெரியுமா, நீ வந்து சர்க்கிளா ஒரு வீலை எடுத்து சுத்தி விட்டாதான் அது ஓடும். ஓகேவா? ஸ்கொயரா ட்ரை பண்ண, ரெக்டாங்கிளா ட்ரை பண்ண, ஹெக்ஸகனா ட்ரை பண்ண. ஓகே, இந்த தடவை நான் ஸ்கொயராவே ட்ரை பண்றேன் அப்படின்னாலும் வீல் சுத்தாது. நீ வந்து சர்க்கிளா வீல் எடுத்துட்டு வரணும். நீ அதில் இந்த ஆப்ஷன்குள்ள போறப்போ I really thought they will sit and understand there are certain players we need to let go of them because for the team composition. It's not because they are bad players. But I was surprised. Okay, what did they do of picking Karun Nair, Gurkirat Singh? It's almost like you are selecting players who are rejected by every other team. Already your team is weak. What is that Karun Nair has done in domestic over the last few years? Or what has he done in the last IPL franchise?
After 303, he's been all I know
shambles. Shambles. I mean, okay, even before 303 or after 303, when was Karun Nair a T20 player? Or okay, fine, KKR has a problem with their batting unit, so you look up to Karun Nair to solve your situation. I don't understand. And okay, what is Gurkirat Singh Man's role? Again, a player who can hardly play T20 cricket. What are you expecting?
What are you expecting of Pawan Negi?
Again, it's like they sat in the auction room. They looked at all the players who would get rejected, and they felt we are giving some free life for all those people.
Adi, at this point, you're just thinking auction room la poi, let's just look. ஒரு 2 left arm spinner வாங்கலாம், ஒரு 2 right arm spinner வாங்கலாம். அதுக்கேச்சு if there are any right arm pacers அவங்க வந்து இந்த லிஸ்ட் மாதிரி anyone who can do that role. It's not like they sat and thought we need at the end of this auction, after getting this team, when the team comes together, we need chemistry in the team. And you have this and I'm not sure that
because they blatantly said, right, that we have come to the auction to just look at how other teams are going to perform. See, I'm surprised because a team like Mumbai does not say that. I mean, what kind of arrogance is that?
Look, finally your core, Rohit, Pollard, Hardik, Bumrah, these guys have chemistry. They work well with each other. They know each other in and out. You go onto the field, you know exactly what Rohit's thinking, and Rohit knows exactly what Pandya is thinking. If Pandya struggles, Rohit knows how to utilize him. This is what Mumbai is all about. You come to CSK, Dhoni knows Raina, and Dhoni Raina pati solare Raina. From 2007, they've been thick friends, and they've worked wonders for CSK for till 2018. Is that right? 2018 they worked wonders together. 2019-20, it's okay, disappointing seasons. I mean, 19 they made the finals. I really did not expect them to, but anyway, that's for another day. But till 18-19 these guys have stuck together. They know.
I mean, Steve, actually I mean, IPL is still very young. Even if you say 14 years is such a small period of time. And also, when you speak about leagues and other things, right? But in general, football எனக்கு வந்து I know you are a big fan of football. எனக்கு வந்து World Cups, Euro Cups தவிர I don't really watch that much of league. Follow தான் பண்ணுவேன். I don't know the players.
So maybe you can tell me what
it's about the identity of the club.
Yeah.
So over a period of time, identity of a club becomes important, and club ஒரு structure இருக்கும், that there will be some ethos that the club will follow, right? So ஒரு league or எது start ஆனாலுமே in certain years certain clubs will get that identity. They will either be fan favorites, or they will have hardcore fans who are supporting them, or என்ன சொல்றது, from bottom up they will have a proper structure in place. So இதெல்லாம் தான் சில teams will be able to do and சில teams will not be able to do, and over the period of time their brand value will dip, their financial situations will go bad because you cannot commercialize properly. இதெல்லாமே நடக்கும், right? So if we look at IPL, Mumbai and CSK have been highly successful in doing their job because bottom up their structure is very good. They understood what it takes to run a franchisee, a cricket franchisee, and they understood what it takes to win trophies. So the ரெண்டுத்துலயுமே they were very strong. KKR வந்து வாழ்ந்து கெட்ட குடும்பம் தான். ஏன்னா
but one thing,
they were good ones.
KKR during Gambhir's captaincy was a different one before. Exactly. And after Gambhir knew exactly how to run a team.
Exactly, that's what they don't understand now. See, as much as you can trust on Ian Morgan, until and unless you give him the ammunition he wants, he cannot do anything. And see, Baza and Ian Morgan, they both believe in attacking brand of cricket.
Right? Let's take a look at an example of Ian Morgan. We saw recently that Michael Vaughan absolutely trashed Joe Root in the Test series because he said that Morgan knows what he wants. It's not, but Root is not having that power over the management. Why is that? Morgan wanted his team in the limited overs. From 2015 to 19, we saw why they became champions. Sure, on the night of the finals, maybe the super over was not. A tight super over was not the right way of going about things. But still, there's a reason why England won the tournament in 2019. That was because of Morgan, the way he changed the structure of English cricket. Both in limited overs, both T20 and ODI cricket. So I still think that probably. Do you think that if Morgan is retained next season, do you think they will ask him, what do you want as a captain?
See, again, IPL franchisee model as well as auction dynamics is very different. So at times they go into auction table to buy certain things, but when they come back from the auction table, it's totally different. That's how auctions generally happen. You cannot get whom you want, right? So you need to have backups and all those stuff. So I was surprised they didn't do much in auction. Having brought Ian Morgan as a captain midway last season, I thought they would have had a long discussion with him to understand, okay, what is that you want, what is the kind of team you want, and what we can do, and there would have been a proper plan laid down. But in the auction, I did not see any such changes. See, one blatant question, you have Shivam Mavi, you have Praseed Krishna, you have Nagarkoti. Right? As much as I love KKR for what they have done for Mavi and Nagarkoti, the time has come for you to decide that you cannot carry all these three basemen when you hardly play one. There is no point. You already have Pat Cummins in the lineup. How many out-and-out pace bowlers you are going to play with?
I have a question for you. Nagarkoti was brought into the 4th or 5th match. But the very next match, he was dropped for Mavi. Both are like similar bowlers. They played with each other in the under-19s. But why? I know that they're similar bowlers and all that. But why would you replace one with the other in just one match?
I will tell you this. I will tell you about Nagarkoti after this. Again, another one was Kuldeep Yadav. See, 100% sure you are not going to play Kuldeep Yadav this season. You did not play him last season. Why did you go on to that? There should be some point. Okay, see, I'm retaining him because of something. So now, are you saying Kuldeep Yadav is a fringe player? I'm just having him in my. Why do you pay so much? You could have bought a couple of fringe players, having let go of Kuldeep Yadav. What is the point of? Their retention and auction was shambolic for these reasons. Coming to Nagarkoti Mavi, See, under 19 World Cup player நான் அவங்க ரெண்டு பேருமே பார்த்தேன். And my initial thought was fantastic both are. Nagarkoti was actually bowling at a better pace than Mavi, but
Yeah.
I
Injuries.
had issues. I had issues with Nagarkoti because till now he looks really fragile. For a guy I don't know, maybe he's 5'4", 5'5",
No, look,
5'6". He's small in stature,
Yeah.
and he's not muscular. He's very lean. I always thought, can this kid keep bowling 145, 150? I don't think his body will be able to take that. And it looks a reality.
On this topic, my question wasn't that. My question, I mean, though I understand his fragility, I know his fragility. He played in under 19. He got selected for KKR. Didn't play 2 seasons or so. But still, why would you drop him just in one match?
I don't think so. Mavi and Nagarkoti are same bowlers. I will tell you why. Mavi was always a new ball operator. Nagarkoti, even from his under 19 days, he was not bowling in the first 10 or first 15. He was the first switch bowler, right?
Yeah.
So he was a third baseman. Even though he was bowling quick, he was not a new ball operator, right? That is one of the big differences between them. And over the years, Mavi had an injury, but he came back a little bit soon. And he looks to be a bowler who's fit, who's physically really strong, and he's still capable of clicking easily 145 with ease. But when you see Nagarkoti, his pace has gone down. He's no longer the bowler who's bowling 145 to 150. So I see Mavi as a more of a fit athlete who has become better. But Nagarkoti, with the injuries and everything, right, he's not a super quick bowler, and he cannot bowl the opening spell. So maybe they are looking at Rashid Krishna and Mavi as their opening bowler, and then say Pat Cummins as their make switch bowler or third choice bowler or whatever. I'm not agreeing to that. But if you play Mavi, you have to play him to bowl those first 6 overs.
Yeah.
Because if not, Mavi does not help you because he has good swing, he has natural movement, and he has pace. So I don't think they are both like replacement just because they bowl at a certain a pace width.
Okay.
But I don't think they are same bowlers.
Okay. Right. We'll just get to one question before we go to the next team. First of all, Gambhir loves this statement. But let's just use Gambhir as another example for KKR. I asked you, did Morgan want a team? Would he want a team that suits him? Then you have a Gambhir who used to go for auctions on almost every single year. I don't know how much you remember that, but he used to go for every auctions almost.
Yeah.
So is a captain as good as a team? He wanted his players. He knew exactly who he wanted.
Of course. See, the captain is always as good as the team. There are no second thoughts about it. Absolutely. But at times you need to look at the captain and say, okay, I cannot play with 11 world-class players. I cannot have 11 A-listers in my team, right? It doesn't matter whether it's an international team or it's going to be a franchisee model. You can only have 4 or 5 A-listers at the max, right? The rest, few people who will be performing well on few occasions, and then there will be a couple of passengers. You take them for certain reasons, or they cannot be that consistent. You have to bring the best out of them most of the time. That's what a captain has to do, right? So Ian Morgan, there is no doubt he's capable of doing it. But again, the team needs to have certain amount of A-listers, certain strength, and certain weaknesses, right? So if your strength is going to surpass your weakness, as a captain, your job is a little bit easy.
Yeah.
Right? But if you look at a team like KKR, the captain has so many things to do. Away from him being the best batsman or the best bowler, he does not have 4 or 5 A-listers in the team. Unfortunately, there is only one A-lister in the team as they play now, which is Russell. There are no A-listers in T20 cricket. 100%. Pat Cummins is not an A-lister in T20 cricket. Let's be very real. He's not. So Ian Morgan has been told to carry this team forward, and he himself is not an A-lister batter. That's again the truth. So what could Ian Morgan do different than what DK did? I don't know. Probably the selections he could have done a little better. At times, he did not use Varun Chakravarti properly. Maybe he could have done that better. He could have promoted Sunil Narayan as an opener, or he could have decided not to play him. That could be a wise call he could have taken. There are few things that
One
he
of
has
the
done wrong.
yeah.
One or two he could have done better, but he has done wrong. But when your team is in shambles, at times as a captain, you also tend to make more mistakes because you don't know what to fix, how to fix. You tend to take decisions that kind of goes against you, and then you lose your plot. Right? That could be the case because against RCB, I think Varun Chakravarti bowled a couple of good overs. He got few
One,
wickets.
one, one,
Suddenly, I think one over.
1 over, 1 over.
One
And
over. He was stopped.
Gambir actually
Criticized.
blasted Morgan for that in the post show. He said,
True.
You've got a guy who gets you 2 wickets. Why would you hold him back after the power play after that?
In fact, that's a good one because I believe he should have bowled him for another 2 overs in fact, right?
Yeah.
Those are the
minimum
things,
one.
of course.
Minimum one.
Minimum one. So I do agree that there were some bad calls that Morgan has made, but I mean, could he have done a lot more better for KKR? Yes, but would that have changed KKR's fortune? I don't think so. I don't think so. So the captain can only be as good as the team, but of course, you can bring the better out of players like MS always did with someone like Jakati or Manpreet Goni or whomsoever, right? He had a defined role for them, but CSK as a team was strong enough. It was not about Jakati or Manpreet Goni. They were not told to win games for them, right? They just have
this minor role. They just have to. Yeah.
Exactly. I really think that's when the captain can do something better.
Back in 2011, 12, 10, 11, 12, when Dhoni had these guys, he just said, we have our main guys like Raina, me, Hayden, Hasi, or whosoever that was. All you have to do is just be those remaining 2-3 players. You just have to try getting us a wicket or contain runs, whichever comes up on the day. And the rest of will cement the wall.
True. That's the role of the captain, right? To give each one their role to play. But again, see, I would say this, right? MS was a highly successful T20 captain for CSK. But if you look at what MS has done for Indian T20 team post 2007 World Cup, honestly speaking, he struggled because we did not have the right set of players to play T20 game.
Let's take an example of after the 2007 World T20. We had the 2009 and 10 World T20 where we beat Ireland, South Africa, Afghanistan, and all that. But when we got to the second half of that, we were absolutely hammered.
I think we did not go past group stage in all 3 World Cups. 2009, 2010, 2012. It was a group stage exit.
But 2012 was a little better because we won 2 of the games. Not the case in 9 and 10. We lost all the games in 9 and 10. The group.
We hardly won in 9 and 10.
We didn't win. We did not win.
I think we won against South Africa in 2009 or 10, where Raina scored a century.
That was the first. That was the first leg of the World T20. That was still not the second leg.
No, I don't think we even went past the group stage. We did not go past the group stage, right?
If you remember that format, we played 2 teams in the first leg, and the top 2 from that leg will go and play a Super 8. We did not cross the Super 8s, but we played South Africa in the first leg of the 2010.
Okay. Yeah, I think Raina scored 100 or something, and we won that game. Yeah.
But except after we went past that group stage, we did not win any of the Super 8 matches in the next. In those
again, what could MS have done different? The only thing on those situations I would have said is MS should have come up the order and batted because we did not have enough players to play consistently. And back then, we did not have a T20 brand of team with us.
Back then, MS was more fearless and go after the bowler kind of
batsman. Still he didn't do, right?
Yeah.
So see, again, if you look at the team, I mean, the likes of West Indies or even England at that phase, right? They kind of understood how to play T20 cricket. Whereas we decided we will play T20 and ODI the same. That kind of
yeah,
backfired for us. So,
yeah,
what could have MS done different? There are so many things, but
yeah,
what MS did, he was only as good as the team.
yeah,
So that answers that question, right? It doesn't
yeah.
matter whether you're Ricky Ponting or MS Dhoni. If you don't have the right set of
The,
players around you,
the Ricky
very
Ponting of
difficult.
2003 and 7 was not the same as that of the 11 World Cup. He had Jason
He even
Krejci.
scored 100 in
Yeah,
the quarterfinal.
no, as a
Didn't change
bats
anything.
as a batsman, he was still great, but not the case with his captaincy.
I mean, what else he could have done in the tournament?
Nothing,
Again, I don't
nothing.
I don't think he could have done anything different.
Look, I think he could have only handled Krejci and Lyon the way. I mean, sorry, not Lyon. I forgot who.
Xavier
Steven
Dorsey
Smith.
or
Steven.
whomsoever.
What? Anyway, he could have only handled them the way he did in that World Cup. Anyway,
Exactly.
let's get to him as a coach for Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, I think DC has become a far superior team after he has taken over the role. They haven't won a championship yet, but for a
But
team who was
vastly,
always struggling to get out of
but
bottom two.
do you remember back in the days of 2011 and 12 when you had AB de Villiers, Russell, Warner, Finch,
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
you just tend to release them into the auction pool?
I mean, yeah, again, DC as a management were not having proper structure.
Yeah,
They were not having a proper captain or proper leader. They did not have a design, right? See, whenever you
yeah,
look at a franchisee model, you need to have a proper design. Who takes the
yeah,
calls?
yeah,
Is that person who's taking a call is strategically sound enough to run a team? If he's not, then there is a problem. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
You can have 11 stars in the team, but there is no chemistry because there is no one to properly structure the team and define
yeah,
roles. That's where
yeah,
the captain becomes important, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
or whomsoever runs the franchisee, do they understand franchisee model? So, I
yeah.
don't think DC had that. Probably in the last few years, they have sorted that out once
After
the
18,
rebranding was
after
done.
2018, they
Correct.
changed.
Once rebranding was done, they started to invest on the right set of players, even though few bad calls were done. I think with Ricky Ponting there, probably he kind of understood how a team should play or what kind of players he would need and
And
how he will run the show. I
do you think
think that has helped.
he and Pant had an instant connect?
I'm not sure instant connect, but
No, I won't say instant
probably
like that, but they, you think they would have, he would have seen. Look, I'm not. Look, I don't want to compare Pant with the greats unnecessarily and drag his performances down, but Pant has a enigma of that of Adam Gilchrist, right?
Mhm.
I mean, look at the test squad, and he'll come in at a time when you're 3-4 down,
Mhm.
and he can change the game. And if you already have a high score in tests, the bowlers will be like, "Oh my God, he's coming in now. Now he's going to come and batter us even further." So he's that kind of energetic cricketer, and that's exactly what Adam Gilchrist used to do for Australia.
Mhm.
So do you think Ponting would have probably seen a little of someone he knew really well in Pant?
I would say Ricky Ponting would have been fascinated by Rishabh Pant because he always believed that there are certain players who are match winners.
Yeah,
On their day, they can easily win games for you, and those players are the one he always did trust. For
yeah,
example, he always loved Shane Watson. He always loved Andrew Simons because he does say these are the guys who will help me win games. It
yeah.
doesn't matter they had bad performances. It doesn't matter they had a string of bad scores. I will carry them into the second half of the tournament because all they need to do is click on the right game at the right time, and the trophy is ours.
And
I think Punt is one of the kind.
and uh, forget about Pant and Gilchrist, but when you look at Simons or something, even if they fail with the bat and ball, they're still on the field. They're
Ajay,
deadly. These guys are deadly fielders. They'll
exactly.
dive. They'll give you a run out, and
Yeah, absolutely. I
that
think for
changes.
a captain you have to give credit there, right? I
Yeah,
would say a captain like Ricky Ponting or MS or Baz, right? When they trust a player, they trust them for certain reasons, and that is why they are all successful captains, right?
Yeah.
So Andrew Simons, I still remember. If you look at the 2003 World Cup stats, his average was not even about 25. Horrendous average when he scored that 100 against Pakistan. I remember his average was hardly 22 or something after having played 40, I think 40 games or something. Who would have backed him, right? But Ricky Ponting always said, this guy is a fantastic lad, he's a match winner, right? And after that 100, if you have looked at Andrew Simon's average in the next 4 or 5 years he played, the averages were well and beyond 40, 45, 50.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at times for certain match winners, all you need is to give them the confidence, the belief that you have. So, on that front, Ricky Ponting, the leader, to answer your question, has always been phenomenal to back the right talent. And I think he has certainly done that with DC because as much as I hated when Rahane went there, I did not understand why they wanted him there. But they never used Rahane consistently like RR after each and every failure. Ricky Ponting was very sure about it. 2-3 games, I'm sorry, you are out. I'm not going to stick with you.
I have a point. Steve Smith isn't really helping them with the batting. Do you think they can probably bring in a Billings or somewhat like that?
Yeah, I think that's the topic we all I think even debated on the chat and everything, right? I think we would favor Billings to play ahead of Steven Smith, but one aspect that they might be looking at is if you look at Shimron Hitmayer, Rishabh Pant, or even Prithvi Shah, right? They are all kind of
similar,
ultra aggressive batsmen. Shikhar Dhawan is also trying to fit into that mold because he doesn't want to consume a lot of deliveries in the first 6 overs. He has understood that. So
I think he has done a decent self-awareness.
Yeah, absolutely, fantastic.
Credit to him for that. Really
credit to him for doing it when he is in the wrong side of 30s. For him to realize that is fantastic. So
and with KL Rahul also in the mix of things.
Absolutely. So I think they were looking for someone like Steven Smith or Ajinkya Rahane who can hold the anchor from one end. And if you look at Rahane or Smith, I would say, I'd still say Smith is better than Rahane in limited overs, absolutely, no doubt. But if Smith is not doing enough for another 2-3 games, and still if DC are going to go on and win games, I feel he will still get a lifeline. But if he doesn't live up to the expectation and they go on to lose games, then I feel Sam Billings might get a note. But see, we all say this, but we don't know what's going behind the scenes. We don't know what's happening in the nets, whether Sam Billings is at his best form, whether he's able to middle the deliveries. We don't know.
So we're only talking about capabilities. So
right? Yeah. So maybe I think Sam Billings is again an innovative player, but his IPL form or his IPL reputation again is not that good. He has done few good things, but he has always been again below par. So would you do a trade-off to take a world-class player like Steven Smith? I mean, in one day and test, he's not in T20. But anyways, to say I will play Sam Billings ahead of him, it's a tough call. But maybe they will take that decision at some point of time if things don't go.
How impressed are you with the Delhi bowlers? Especially Avesh Khan.
Wow. I still remember seeing that lad in 2016 Under-19 World Cup. I always felt there is something about this lad. I don't know whether I liked his action or whether I liked his aggressive manner in which he always presented himself. Or something was very impressive. I was always looking out to see when will Avesh Khan play. Why is he not in IPL playing a lot more games than he should? What's going on, right? At times you're so fascinated about such young players. So it's really heartening to see him put on a show like this. And the best part is he's not just bowling hard length; he's bowling brilliant Yorkers. At times he's bowling
the Yorkers. I would like in that RCB match. I was thinking this guy and Rabada. There was so much difference between these two because this guy was wearing it to guys like AB de Villiers and uh,
Absolutely,
J, even
absolutely.
J. No discredit to Jameson, but
Mhm.
he's not AB de Villiers, but still
Yeah,
he can still hit.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
he bowled brilliantly to these two, even to
Mhm.
Maxwell. Um,
Mhm.
so I mean, I really like this guy from 2018. I saw him. I
Mhm.
mean, 2016, of course, the World Cup, but
Mhm.
even in the when he first joined the Daredevils, as they were known
Mhm.
then, I was
Mhm.
really impressed with them.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
happened? What's happening with Rabada? Could you just probably?
See, again, I think Rabada, again, what role you give him is very important, right? He's
Yeah,
not out and out a T20 death over specialist. So
yeah,
it's understandable that he's conceding a lot of runs when bowling at
yeah.
19th or 20th
Yeah.
over.
But
Uh,
last in the last two
and,
years, he was the leading wicket taker for Delhi, especially because he took wickets at the death. Has he
mm,
changed something on the pitch? In fact, I just want to mention I watch select dugout for all the IPL
mm,
matches, and
mm,
Scott Styrus was mentioning that there's a 1.1 meter difference from where he bowled to where he's bowling. He used to bowl
mm.
his short deliveries used to be short
A
backward,
little bit on the
a little
shorter side.
forward,
Now
a
it's a
little,
little bit
no, a
fuller.
little close. He was a little fuller last 2 years, but now he's
Okay.
gone back 1.1 meters shorter.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
he said probably, and this was the last few years he's been bowling. He used to bowl
Mhm.
that fuller short ball.
Mhm.
Is that why? Is probably this the reason why he picked wickets at the death last two seasons and not now?
Maybe that could be. I mean, if they have analyzed him and if they are giving a detailed analysis of it, yeah, then absolutely that could be the case. But again, you don't know what a player is going through and what is
Yeah.
his whether he's
In
at
fact,
top of his game.
In
Uh,
fact,
uh, uh, uh,
just
yeah,
his on his side, to be fair, he's just come back from South Africa, gone through quarantine. Uh,
yeah, absolutely
so
true.
you have to
I
give
mean,
him that.
he might not be at his best form, right? I
Yeah,
mean, if you look at the way Virat Kohli, the batsman is struggling,
yeah,
you won't associate Virat Kohli to play like that, right?
yeah,
So similarly, maybe Rabada is having off time,
yeah,
but that's why I feel maybe they can give him another 2 3 games and then see, okay, if things are not working out really, right? There is Nokia, right? So
yeah,
you need to bring him to certain games and then see how he turns out. Because at times, a quick change can also give some breathing space to Rabada.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
he can work on his bowling a little bit and then come back strong. Or
Right.
Nokia can also win you games. So
Yeah.
yeah, that could be the
Uh,
case.
Another bowler who's even at this age, he had a shoulder injury in the previous game, but nevertheless, Amit Mishra has been picking wickets from
Mhm.
Chennai to Ahmedabad. He's picked wickets. Uh, your thoughts on Amit Mishra? I mean, of course,
I
he's an
mean,
IPL veteran. He's an IPL veteran.
he has
So
always been an MVP in IPL,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
wherever he has gone and he has played, right, I think he has always contributed above par,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He
I
just
think
he
still
still
is one of the best leg spinners going around.
and even at this age, from the beginning to now, he's always been the taking the back seat. Of course he has man of the match and all that, but once he
Mhm.
picks a 2 wicket, 3 wicket haul or 4 wicket haul or something, he like I'll just stay back, watch and play the rest of the match, let it roll out the way it has
And
to.
I mean, I think it's more to do with his personality,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Maybe I think even in the I think mid-match press conference or something, right?
yeah,
He was asked this question of whether you think he'll be able to chase this down and all that. He said, "As a bowler, my job is done now, so I'm now just going to sit in the dugout and watch the game." I mean, there's nothing wrong in that. You do
obviously,
the job. You do the job.
definitely,
You are a bowler. You go. You take wickets, and then you say, "Yeah,
yeah,
my job is done." Right?
yeah.
Not everyone is going to say, "Yeah, you know what? I would love to
I
contribute with my
hope
bat."
I would
Uh,
really like batsman to chase it down.
yeah. So I think fair enough. He has always been that kind of a
Yeah,
personality. But I mean, absolute champion in IPL
yeah,
has done a lot for any team he has
yeah.
played.
And he's still doing really well.
Yeah, he says he's still going strong and he will love to play for. few more years. So yeah,
Nothing wrong.
not
Let
not
him
a,
let him take
nothing
his
wrong.
time. As long as he is
Absolutely,
performing, I think every team will be happy to have him. Right.
absolutely, yes.
Uh, Now, just talk us through last night's match.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I was a
I mean, I
little
know we're not in the first.
surprised.
I know this match not in the sixth round, but just talk us through last night's match.
Yeah,
Because those are
I
the
think
two
I
teams we are
was.
yet to cover really before getting to the CSK MI section.
Yeah, I think I was a little surprised looking at the way RCB battered in the second innings, but I guess it has got a lot. It has got a lot to do with the pitch becoming a little bit more slow and low.
Yeah.
It was evident when there was so much amount of sudden turn. Even
Maxwell,
AB
the one
Villiers.
that Harpreet
Yeah,
Kaur both to Maxwell. That was
yeah,
such
yeah.
a
It went like a
Maxwell took
snake.
3-4 minutes to actually digest what actually happened.
True, true, and even De Villiers found it difficult. So yeah, I guess it's a game of two different halves. You have to
Yeah,
say, probably Punjab battered when the batting when the conditions were really suitable for batting, and RCB had to do the tough job. And
yeah.
yeah, I think it was not a bad loss. I think Harshad Patel was able to take some venom out of the loss. So some net run rate were not affected as much as we hoped that it would affect.
No, not really.
Yeah,
It's not all that pathetic. They're still on the
yeah, yeah.
early side of the negative, so I
True,
would take it.
true. Yeah, yeah.
But um, while
I
we're
think
talking
Kale
about
Kale was
why,
fantastic
uh,
last night.
I was coming to that. When we talk about Kale's strike rate, many people are saying bad things about non. But நீங்கள் கவனிச்சீங்கன்னா அந்த ஐபிஎல்ல தான் இட்ஸ் பின் லைக் திஸ் and especially இந்த கடந்த 3 வருஷமா it's definitely the batting order, isn't it? It's what
See,
comes after him.
நான் என்ன சொல்லுவேன் அப்படின்னா, right? Uh, as much as I agree to the fact that he's the captain taking responsibility, all those things are there. But uh, you are a player who represents certain brand of cricket, right?
Yeah.
I understand you have to play the situation at times, but
Uh,
all that said and done.
just one question. Yeah, because Nethiki, if you notice, he played well. He hit the ball when his partner was hitting, but
Hmm.
when if you remember that middle order collapse at the beginning in the when Harpreet Kaur just got out, he took a little time to get set because he was not really aware of how much if the batsman's going to hit today or not.
Hmm.
So, how much is that a factor for him playing slowly
See,
in middle and then?
I would say yes. With Punjab team not set it up to really succeed, he has to take the back seat and play these kind of innings and all that, right? But ஒன்னு நம்ம என்ன புரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா, as much as we speak about IPL, if you play certain brand of cricket in IPL for 14 games on a trot, right? Your natural instincts, if you curb your natural instincts, suddenly when you come to international cricket, it will not blossom.
Yeah.
See, so I would say what would be KL's priority? That's very, very important, right? If he is a player like AB de Villiers, who can switch his gears so rapidly as and how
Yeah.
he wants, then I don't have any problem with the way KL is playing for Punjab. He can play any way he wants. He can play
Yeah.
slow. He can play quick. He need not score quickly, or he can take his time and then score quickly. எதுவுமே பிரச்சனை கிடையாது, right?
Yeah.
But if he does this and then he comes to Indian team and then he starts to literally struggle, because in Indian team we don't want you to anchor the innings. We have Virat Kohli who is going to anchor.
Rohit
We have
Sharma, even
Rohit
Rohit
Sharma
Sharma
who is
takes.
going to slow, who is going to
Yeah.
start the innings slow.
Yeah.
So we want an aggressive opener அப்படின்றப்போ it looks like he is getting caught between two different spectrum of batting. He doesn't know whether he can attack because he hasn't done that consistently now. And the 14 games, it's like muscle memory for you, right?
Yeah.
You do that, suddenly if you are not a player who can switch gears, you will struggle. And if he
Yeah.
struggles to attack quickly, then it becomes difficult for the Indian team. When he tries to attack, he's getting out. So, என்னோட problem எல்லாமே is not about whether he's winning games for Punjab or whether he's doing the right thing for Punjab. அதெல்லாம் இல்ல. I agree. He's doing the right thing for Punjab because of Punjab lineup and all those things. But overall, we want to see KL Rahul play a certain brand of cricket that will help the Indian team. right?
And it's not that it's new to him. He loves that brand. We love that brand. It's a mutual
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly. See, இது எப்படி இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, let me put it this way, right? A player like Johnny Barrister, SRH has
Yeah,
a weak middle order, probably
yeah,
the weakest middle order, right? If I
yeah.
go and tell SRH to say, hey, you know what, make Johnny Barrister the captain and tell him to play all 20 overs. I just don't. I really don't see the point. See, Johnny Barristo is fantastic to attack in that power play. He takes the game away from the opposition.
Yeah.
KL was doing that. So if I tell KL, hey, என்னப்பா நீ கேப்டன் பா, நீ வந்து டீமோட ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டியை நீ தான் எடுத்துக்கணும். Fair enough, but I will play the way I will play. See, this is the problem. If you make every Indian star player the captain and make sure that they lose their muscle memory, end of the day, what is IPL being conducted for? It is conducted for betterment of Indian cricket
Yeah.
on a larger scale. But what is happening? I feel we have almost lost that old KL Rahul. I don't see him coming back.
But
Again, நேத்து கேமுமே I was very angry looking to see that he has scored 18 runs of 20 balls or 21 balls. I mean, see, AB de Villiers was an enigma. Okay, wow. He played
Yeah.
Test cricket. The next series he played a T20 cricket, and then he played one day like T20. He
Yeah.
can do anything and everything, right? None of the batsmen could do. Not Virat Kohli, not Kane Williamson, not Steven Smith. No one could do that.
149 runs of for what? 40 balls. What's that?
40 balls or 50 balls. Yeah.
162 of 66. Come on, man.
Exactly.
One day.
So, Adam Sorra, so de Villiers is the only player who can play that brand of cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I'm more worried about KL Rahul's long-term effects if he continues to do this way. Because Shikhar is trying to evolve. I know Shikhar will not play more than 2 years for Indian team, but
No. Even the
Shikhar
one
is not. Shikhar is actually not an attacking player. He's trying his level best. On the other hand, an attacking player is going backwards. It's very very disheartening to see.
Sad. Yeah. But talk it through KL Rahul's captaincy. I really think he's a great mind on the field. He really knows his players, I feel.
Yeah, he looks a calm head. He looks a calm head, and he looks to be a very realistic person. And he's able to take losses on his stride and not crib and cry about conditions or oppositions or this and that. He's
but
more realistic.
decision making. How do you find his decision making?
See,
with the players he has. I'm not going to say too much about him because I don't really know what his role is off the field. And also the team gets only. We know about Punjab's auction strategies. அதெல்லாம் பத்தி பேசவே கூடாது. பத்தி தனி எபிசோட் வைக்கணும். But look, you have certain number of players, and you can only play with those 11. With those 25, you can pick only 11. And I don't know what his role is in picking the 11, but I see him on the field. I've seen him for the last 2 years, and his first match I saw him as captain was not exactly him as captain. He was a makeshift captain for Rohit Sharma for India. So I've seen him only like this. So I really liked his decision making. So that's why I asked you this question.
See, எனக்கு என்னன்னா நான் ஒன்னே ஒன்று தான் சொல்லுவேன். பஞ்சாபோட சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் கேப்டன்னு நம்ம யாராலையுமே யாரையும் சொல்ல முடியாது. ஓகேவா? ஸோ எனக்கு வந்து பஞ்சாப் as a franchisee with the current owners, I don't have any belief on them. Right? I don't think they have a plan in place. They have a structure. They have any proper strategies. They're not doing anything right. That is how they have been. That is their brand.
Every bad season, right? They'll go and dissolve and make and and just make a new.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So, adunala, for me to rate a Punjab captain is very difficult because I feel they have been made to work as a captain with one hand tied behind their back. That's the reality. So, if KL can do the miracle of taking this team to top 4 even.
Forget winning a title. Just take.
Forget winning the title, right? I still feel if you can make use of the right resources which are on offer for you, if you are given the freedom to make use of the right resources, I think this team can compete for top 4. Even if you finish 5th, it's okay. But anywhere below fifth, I don't think I can rate KL Rahul's captaincy in that
Okay.
situation. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
I mean,
difficult.
look, we know George Bailey. He took them to the finals. Should have won that finals.
Mm.
Really,
Mhm.
but not his fault. Manish Pandey was the better player that day.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But look, these are guys. I mean, I won't say much about Yuvraj Singh's captaincy as well. After the first season, second season, they missed the spot.
Yeah.
Same with Bailey, but uh, I'm not really a fan of Yuvraj Singh's captaincy. I am of George Bailey. He's actually a very that he's a calm guy. Really, I
Mhm.
really enjoyed watching him as a player and captain.
Mm.
He knows his players. That's
I think
important.
it's very difficult when you are a captain of a franchisee like Punjab, right? See, over the years we have heard about Preeti Zinta having a lot of say on selection, having rift with
Yeah,
coaches, having
yeah,
issues with Shevag. I mean, there are so many things, right?
yeah.
And when you look at them in the auction table, you absolutely feel what shit is happening down there.
We're horrified. We're absolutely horrified.
Shambles again. What are they doing and what are they up to? What is their
It's like
strategy?
if you are
No idea.
Punjab and if I'm another franchisee and I bid for someone and you start bidding for the same player just
Exactly.
for
For
the
what?
if you don't
For
want him,
what?
just leave him.
I mean, so it's very difficult for a coach, even for a captain, to manage the team because there is no consistency, there is no structure, there is absolutely no clue whatsoever on what they are doing, right? So, given all that, that's why I would say whatever happens with Punjab, right? I don't think I can rate their captains, particularly KL. I cannot rate.
Yeah.
If he wins a season, fine, fair enough. He's the best captain Punjab has ever had. Uh, but what else would you say? I mean, he's captain for today, and the next season they will dissolve the team. I mean,
Exactly, that's
what
my
can he
fear.
do?
My
What
my
can he
fear
do?
is that Aditya. My fear is exactly that. I fear
Hmm.
KL Rahul is such a good player. And look, I don't know about you, but I really like him as a captain. His
Hmm.
because of his approach, just because of his approach, I really like him as a captain. And
Hmm.
I don't want Punjab to end below four for
Hmm.
the pure reason, for solely for the reason that Punjab is going to dissolve this team next year.
I mean, for Punjab to dissolve the team, you don't want a big auction, right? Even in a mini auction, they dissolve the team. See,
Exactly.
that's the problem you have here. So I feel sorry for KL for being stuck with Punjab in a way because he went from a bad franchisee in RCB to a bad franchisee in Punjab, right? I
I,
really
I,
wish.
I feel Punjab is worse than RCB.
Yeah, it is. It is because see, at least with RCB, you see a
They made finals.
constant leadership with Virat and
Yeah,
constant presence with ABD.
yeah.
And there are few players who they try to hang on to and all that. But with Punjab, I just don't see any consistency. I mean, as we know, right? Probably Punjab is the worst franchisee in IPL ever,
Ever,
right? Because RR has
ever.
won a trophy at least. I mean,
Delhi,
KKR is in free
Delhi and
fall now, but they
RCB,
have done something good.
Delhi and RCB
Yeah,
have made finals. RCB on
they
multiple
have
occasions,
played finals, and I think
and
Delhi has improved now.
Delhi is
Uh,
improving. That's the important point.
True, true. So the only team I see being still pathetic with decision makings and all that, right? I think is Punjab. So hard time for
Without a question.
KL Rahul to be judged as a captain. It's very difficult for him.
Yeah, no, I asked you purely on a reason because what do you think when you see him is what my question was. But
Hmm.
yes, I feel that Punjab, forget removing her as owner. If she doesn't make it to the auction, will be a much better place
I
than if
know.
she is at the auctions.
We know. See, when you have a owner who doesn't understand what it takes to create a
And,
successful cricketing
fra-
team
yeah,
or a successful franchisee model,
yeah,
I think it's very difficult. I feel both the factors are missing with the current team owners. It's not just Preeti Zinta. I think
yeah,
there are multiple stakeholders there. So
yeah.
I mean, she's the one who
No,
we see.
but
So
she's the one who comes to every auction, and I
yeah,
don't
exactly.
I so I mean
We don't know.
I don't see Shah Rukh Khan at KK auction table. I mean, probably at one time he probably was
See,
there at some.
I would say again, right? you need to have not just consistency, you need to trust in the right
Players.
set of people, and you should give them lot of authority to run the show, right? So I mean, again, as much as
Forget
people have
trust.
respect for Kumble, right?
Yeah.
I'm really not sure whether Kumble is the right coach to take the shambolic team to the next level. I have doubts on that too.
Yeah. I mean, do you see anyone who is a good coach to take them out of these shambles?
Very, very difficult. Again, you need a strong strategic head
Personality. You need a strong
who has done
personality.
that for years, right? Who has done
Yeah.
that for years, because IPL is such a short
Yeah.
window. You play for 2 months,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can prep for another 2 months, but it's not like you are with the team for a year long time so that you can do a lot of changes. So someone who's a proven performer who presents you the model he wants to follow and the way he wants to play cricket and the kind of players he wants, and the owner should say yes, you go ahead, we will give you 2 3 seasons at least, because we have been shambles for ages. For us to wait for 3 seasons, it's not going to be bad, but
Yeah.
even if we see slight improvements, we will leave it up to you
Yeah.
to see how you can improve the team to get better and to be consistent at top four. See, that's the way you can improve the team. You cannot win 3 titles from being number 8 consistently, right? So
Obvious.
no one can
And
do that miracle.
they're number 8 for almost every odd year and sometimes every even year also. It's
Yeah,
just doesn't
poor,
help. If you make semifinals once out of 7 years, I mean, what is this?
no
Any odd
point,
team?
right?
Look at what Rising Pune Super Giant did. I would call it a gutsy move, removing Dhoni as captain. But look at the decision making. They actually made the finals the next year. They removed guys like Mitchell Marsh. They removed so many people from the team, and then
Yeah.
you got guys like Rahul Tripathi, Deepak Char, Rahul Char, Shardul Thakur. I'm not saying that all of them may have been the right set of players, but they created a unit, and I was surprised. Every match that team won, I was surprised. I was shocked.
Mhm.
How did
Yeah,
this team win? Right? That
absolutely. At times, you need to understand that there are certain things you have to change, not for the sake of changing,
yeah.
right? So Punjab, it was always like that, right? They never understood what it takes to create a T20 bowling unit. They kept changing bowlers every single season. What is the point? Who is going to be your attack leader? Have they ever found out attack leader? I don't see Punjab having an attack
I
leader.
I don't see Shami as an attack leader like this with this. I mean,
Shami is not a T20 bowler. If you
Shami,
think Shami is an international Indian bowler, okay, fine, fair enough, but he's not a T20 bowler.
he's not
How
a
is he going to
T20
be an
bowler.
attack leader?
No one.
No
No one.
idea.
I was
Exactly.
shocked. I was shocked at the omission of Arshdeep over Shami yesterday. I was
Again,
absolutely
they
shocked.
won. They won the game, so everything is going to be
Now
all
they
right.
now they think that now we should keep Arshdeep away and have Harpreet Brar for all team. No, that's not going to work. I'm sorry.
Again, who takes these calls? It's very important, right?
Like
So, I mean,
that's why I keep asking this question. What is KL Rahul doing in the back?
we
I can
don't
only
know.
s- yeah.
We
Anyway,
don't know, right?
yeah,
We can only speculate, but we can't be sure because KL hasn't come out and said there is a selection committee who has taken this
yeah,
decision, which Warner has said at
yeah.
least.
Warner, yeah. Okay. Uh, just let's finish one last segment. Let's not take
Mm.
too much time into this, but today we have a iconic match: Chennai versus Mumbai. Aditya, your thoughts on this match? They call it the El Clasico, which,
Yeah,
to be fair,
I think the momentum is with us this time around. I
yeah.
mean, we can't say that every year. Most of the time, Mumbai will have the upper hand because, of
I have
course,
an
the team
interesting
composition
stat.
and all
I have
that.
an interesting stat. 2013, we lost the finals to them. And in
Mm.
2014, no one would have thought we'll beat Mumbai Indians. But we beat them
Mm.
thrice that season. Twice in the
Mm.
league matches and once in the uh, eliminator, which is by far is the only time Chennai has a 100% record over Mumbai in a IPL season.
Mhm, mhm.
So, do you see something like that happening anytime soon, or do you think it's still
I,
going to be one all for the?
I think looking at the way we have played this season, we look like a very, very machined or oiled unit, you can call that, right?
Yeah.
So we know
Are
what we
you
have to do. We have
are
the
you
right
surprised? Are
personnel.
you surprised at the resurgence of CSK this year?
Uh, I would say yes and no,
Yeah.
because I felt last season we underperformed. We underperformed because we thought MS was the one who will rescue us and Watson was the one who will rescue us. We were totally
Yeah.
proven wrong.
Uh,
I think both of them were well past their prime,
yeah.
so you should have expected it from different set of players and not from them. So I think that was a big miss. This time,
Now that you mentioned it, uh, we cannot. This has never been CSK's ideology that only
Mhm.
two people are going to rescue us. I think except
Exactly.
2019, where only Dhoni and the bowlers performed, it has
Mhm.
always been match by match. Someone has stolen the game from the
True,
opposition.
true, exactly. That's. I mean, 2019 it was different because MS was still able to do it, and
Yeah,
2020 he wasn't able to do it,
yeah.
and things went bad, right?
If
So
he could, maybe he would have. For all you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. See, I think every year when you are at your late 30s and close to 40s, every year becomes very important,
yeah,
right? Because it's not like you are going to be the same. There are so many things
yeah,
that you will change. There
yeah.
is so much amount of cricket that you will miss. You might not be playing international games at all, etc., etc. So all those things are going to come back and haunt you, right?
Not only is he
So
not playing international games, he's retired from international. So
exactly. So
even
I mean, it's understandable that he's no longer the same player. That's fair enough, right? So expecting from him was a wrong thing we did.
yeah,
I think this season, Faf continuing his form or taking his game to the next level is something fantastic.
yeah, yeah,
We didn't expect it. A lot of us didn't expect that. And Gaikwad, after a couple of games or 2, 3 games, he wasn't good. Then he has started to up his game, which also contributed to our success. Moeen Ali, wow, Alibai has been fantastic for us. Wherever
Alibay,
he has played, whenever he has played, whatever he has done,
yeah,
it has all worked like pure magic, right? So
yeah,
his presence in number three and whatever he has done with the ball is fantastic. He has been a breath of fresh air,
right.
and Sam Curran
Uh,
and Jadeja are improved players.
yeah.
So I think when you
I
look at
think
all
the
that, you say yes.
I think the change in CSK is last year we depended on Sam Curran to hit. This year we are not. Is that a good change?
See, I think last year we were not sure because of too many things going wrong. Reina
Yeah,
pulling out at the last minute. We had Watson. We expected him to fire every single game where he failed every single game. And then you have Jadhav, who was also not doing anything for the team. Rather, he was actually sabotaging
Philly.
anything others have built.
Yeah,
So, as a team, our spine was weak. So, we were expecting Sam Curran to do some magic. He could have done it for a couple of games, but he cannot do it every time. And MS
yeah,
was bad. So as a team, our spine was weak. I
yeah,
think now as a team, our spine is a lot more strong. We expect little or less, or you could say insignificant amount of runs from MS. And we are not looking at Reina and say, hey, you are the hero for us. No, you have done your job over the years. Now you are going to be the extra cushion that we need,
yeah,
right? So we have given a lot of responsibility to the top three and Jadeja and Sam Curran. Raidu, Reina, and MS can bring their experience and chip in and do something which they were not made to do for a lot of time in the 5 or 6 games
yeah,
that we have played.
yeah,
So, what I would say is the first half of our season is fantastic. And looking at the first half of our season, we can defeat this Mumbai team, but
yeah.
you might never know what would happen on the second leg of the season. So, we look formidable, but I
Actually,
would still say let us see whether we can carry this forward.
that has always been the case, hasn't it, in IPL? Uh,
Hmm.
where even the lower eight start beating the top four. Sorry, lower four start beating the top four. I mean, if not consistently, at least in odd matches. And
True.
that's where the twist and turns of IPL actually start. You
Mhm.
know, if a lower team, if supposing today CSK is at the top, and this happens in the 11th or 12th, you have a SRH at the 8th suddenly beating a CSK. all of a sudden you might not know Punjab might be back in contention for this IPL. So that has always been the situation of IPL, right? Talk us through Mumbai Indians. Uh,
So
are they
I
back on
mean,
track? Do you think they're back on track? First of all, do you think they're back on
uh,
track?
see if I look at a player like Sky, Hardik, Quinton de Kock, and
Yeah,
Rohit Sharma, right?
yeah,
Uh, and even Pollard, it's very difficult for you to sit and say for about what 14 games that they wouldn't fire and they will be bad. It's
yeah.
impossible,
So,
right? And Sky
you
and Hardik Pandya are probably at the best phase of their life.
as an opponent,
So
you'll be scared of them for every game.
see, I wouldn't say at this moment of time, looking at the way CSK is playing and looking at the way Mumbai has played, you should be afraid or
No, I
scared.
mean
Uh,
not as a player. I'm talking as a person who's watching. You're still
I think so. I think so. They if on their day, they can come back strong. But
exactly
are they clicking as a unit right now? No,
not
they
yet.
are
No,
not. They are not because neither Pollard nor Hardik is at their best.
yeah,
I think Rohit is also. Uh, I mean, Rohit has never been at his best in IPL. He has always contributed here and there. To be
yeah,
honest, he has not been their leading run scorer. Uh, so looks like Quinton de Kock has found his touch by looking.
yeah,
Sky has always been there, right? It's just about just a matter of time before a big innings comes for him. So yeah, I still think CSK is favorite going into this game, but
yeah,
Mumbai are not far behind. But I am not convinced that they have turned their season around with the victory that they have got.
yeah.
But if they beat CSK today, then you should really believe that they have turned the season around.
Right. Because I would believe that their last game against RR, still not a perfect win, was still the
Yeah,
most convincing win this season.
yeah, it's not. It's not the old Mumbai unit, but
No,
I mean they tend to get better as the season goes
I
along.
have a
So
question. Back in 2012, CSK was defending champions coming to the tournament, and they were struggling, and yet they made the semis. Do you see that happening with Mumbai this time? They're
I
on a
think
hat trick, and they've
I
struggled a
think
bit.
Mumbai have done that for a long time, right? They have bad starts and then they slowly gain momentum and
Yeah,
then they become the undefeatable team in
yeah,
the league.
yeah.
So the, the way I would
No,
put it is they have all the
I'm not
ammunitions
talking
to
about the
do it.
middle years. My comparison is only with CSK of 2012 and Mumbai of 2021. Do you think
Uh, I don't
is
think
that
2012 it was like the MS. I think it was 2010. You are saying then that's when
no
we
two,
were really poor, and then we
yeah,
started to strike balance, and then MS was able to play that Dharamshala knock,
no,
and then
that
we
was
went on to win.
2010. Then we won 2011. Then
Mhm.
2012 we had a really bad start. We won three and lost three, and then
Mhm.
we lost a few games in the middle. Then we won a few games in the middle, and then we lost
Mhm.
in one game at random in the end. And somehow we qualified because Bangalore lost to Deccan Chargers. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not saying that Mumbai is going to depend on the team to lose to qualify this time. Just saying that. Do you see that happening with Mumbai this time?
Uh, I'm not really sure because I don't see a lot of strong IPL units now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, who else can pull a surprise against Mumbai if they play at their best? I don't
Rajasthan.
know.
I think Rajasthan. I think Rajasthan
Uh,
would.
I mean, maybe Butler fires. Uh,
Butler. I mean, look, I'm not saying anything about who fires, but I think Rajasthan has a squad that can just pull up a surprise. Because look,
maybe.
they're still at the absence of the uh, two main players. So I mean, a surprise would be an excellent performance for them. I would say. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
there is a chance, but but can Mumbai depend on some other team to progress to top four?
no, no,
That's
they
where I
cannot.
don't have belief.
No, I
That's
don't
where I
think
don't
so.
have belief because I don't think there are enough strong units to
No,
hold the
that,
top four
that
position
no,
and push Mumbai to fifth.
yeah, no, that's why I said that that's not going to happen because the bottom four are not that strong enough
Yeah.
to. But but anyway, my question is. was just that you see. I won't say that they're depending on someone. I just see. Do you have see them having a bad middle phase or something
I
like
think
that?
they had a bad opening phase,
Yeah,
so uh, I don't believe they will have a bad middle phase. See, because there's too much amount of power in the team, right? There's so
yeah,
much amount of bowling that they have, world class bowlers,
yeah,
world class batsmen. So it's very difficult to say they all will have bad games and then they will struggle time and
yeah,
again. It's very difficult. I don't think that could happen because
yeah,
CSK as a team was not having a lot of stars by that time, right? We were looking at few performers and then we were having a lot of fringe players. But if you
yeah.
look at the Mumbai unit, I don't think you can say, hey, there is a fringe player there. I don't think there is a fringe player in that unit.
Okay,
So it's very difficult for them to consistently underperform.
yeah,
So I think they will still be in the top two most of
okay,
the time.
okay. Even the season top two, given how your
I, I
top
think, I
three.
think, I think, I
Okay,
think, I don't believe RCB will finish in top two because they are going to have some horrendous losses. Again, Virat Kohli can keep saying about Patidar and all that, but the way he played, I don't see he's a convincing player at IPL
do you,
level yet.
do you see his also? Do you see Kohli coming back to three later? Supposing,
I'm not sure who will be the opener then.
I mean, no one is sure. Given
I
that
mean, I don't see any openers
Aditya,
available.
given that the team is RCB, no one is sure of anything. That's why I'm
Yeah,
asking you. If,
that's true.
that's why I'm
I
asking.
don't think so. I don't think so. Kohli coming at three is going to help. The more deliveries he's going to face, it's better because
Yeah,
he
he
seems
can
to
come
be
back
really out
earlier.
of touch.
Yeah,
So he can come back to form only if he opens the innings. So
right.
yeah,
Okay. But today, you would say 50-50, or would you
I,
favor
I
CSK?
would still say CSK 70, MI 30 because of the
You
momentum we
can't look.
carry and the kind of batting lineup that we
Yeah,
have and the way we are firing all cylinders. But yeah, when you speak about such high voltage clashes, it can go either way. There is no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
But I would still go for 70% CSK and 30% MI.
Okay. I have one last question for you. Uh,
Mhm.
do you think Rajasthan this year is going through what CSK went last year? Not
Uh,
exactly, but not exactly, but key players going back home.
it's a little difficult to compare because Rajasthan have never been consistent enough to say we are a top four team
Yeah,
and we are having a bad season, right?
yeah,
So there is one common factor: few players missing. Yes,
yeah,
that's what happened with CSK. But
yeah,
CSK was far better a franchisee who are always consistent enough, having
yeah,
won a cup, having reached a final, lost out by an inch, and then had a bad season. So
yeah,
there is so much amount of difference between what RR is and what
yeah.
CSK is. So it's a little difficult to compare. But even with those players, would RR be having a fantastic season? I doubt it. They would be in contention for top four, but I still don't see them
No,
having a fantastic season.
yeah. I didn't say fantastic. I would say missing out in the top four. After
Um,
2008, RR have never made a finals.
but do you really believe even with Archer and Stokes hanging around, they would have been a real player for top four? I'm not sure. I just don't. I just don't see them as a team who would guarantee you top four.
It's a tough question. I just wanted to ask, just
Yeah,
to
it's a.
see your opinion on this. It's a tricky situation, right?
I think RR needs to really invest in few players which they have got now and understand that if they can retain them for the big auction or buy them back for the big auction and then have this team solidly perform for another couple of seasons,
Right.
then I think RR can be looked as a team or like, hey, okay, what happened to them this season? For me, right now, to look at RR and say, hey, what happened? I mean, like, it's been happening all along. So, how is this season so different for them, right?
Uh,
With them,
agree,
without
agree.
them, I just don't see a lot of difference for
Yeah,
them.
no, 100%.
Yeah.
I see your thing.
Yeah.
But on that note, next year they can retain only three players and two RTMs. Who are those players going to be?
I think they
Archer.
will they will they will retain Samson first. they are investing in him as the captain, and that's a move that they have taken. So they have to retain Samson. You just cannot say, hey, you know what, we invested you as a captain this season, and then bye bye, right? I mean that would be nuts, right? So
I mean, that's
Samson would be
something
the
that
first
Punjab
pick.
would do. That's something that Punjab would do.
True, yeah. And I have doubts on Archer because I still see Archer. Archer would feel like he has to do a lot more for England because, see, I don't want this to be taken in the wrong context, but Archer's, I mean, homeland is not England, right? He was from Caribbean, so it's his second home in a way. So he will feel that having given that opportunity, he has to give a lot more to English cricket rather than playing so much of IPL, right? So whether Archer will turn up for every IPL and give everything for franchisee, I don't believe that. I don't believe that he's at a stage of his game where he would concentrate more on franchisee cricket instead of national cricket.
That's what happened in 2019. After the 2019 IPL, English board were like, we have the World Cup this year. Just we have to get him by hook or by crook, and they got him.
Exactly. So he has got a big opportunity to play for England for a longer run and to do a lot more. And he has a lot of ambitions to play for England for a long time in Test cricket and all that, right? So on that note, even though he's their best bowler, I still think RR will look at it and say, okay, are we going to retain him? Maybe he will even say, I will not play next year's IPL for some reason or the other. So there is a chance. So my second pick would be absolutely Josh Butler, because more than Stokes, Butler has done a lot for us.
He just takes
he's a match winner, and more than anyone, I think he is one of those rare English players who has taken IPL very seriously. And he has always stayed with Rajasthan Royals, come what may, and he has shown them so much amount of promise, performance, and commitment. I feel he deserves to be retained, and it will be best for them to retain because when you put him into auction, you are not going to buy him back, or you are not going to buy him back for cheap. He's going to go for a hell a lot of money. So I would say RR would go for him as a second.
Just minor question. I won't say miss him, but would Mumbai rue not retaining or not getting back Butler at any point?
I think if you put him on auction, there could be a lot of buyers for him. It will become very difficult, even if you are going to use a retention card or whatever. You spend so much money on him. I would say it's better if you can make a deal and say, you know what, you stay with us. I would say he's one of the top T20 players going around, right? It's very, very difficult if you put him on auction. It's almost like throwing MS into auction and CSK saying, hey, we will buy him back during his prime.
MS at his prime, yeah. Right now, we know that Chennai is going to be at auction, whether he's bought, whether he's out of the team, whether he's retained, RTM, whatever, he's going to be at Chennai. So it's no
absolutely.
point.
So I think it's very important for RR to say, as much as Samson is our main player, Josh Butler is also our main player. You need to show that to the other franchises that we are not going to let him go. So I feel it will be Butler second. You said 2 players who can retain and 2 RTM?
3 players retain and 2 RTM.
Okay, so third, I still feel, see, I'm not sure whether Stokes has done enough for T20 cricket as a whole. Let's be very realistic. Stokes hasn't done enough in T20 cricket. Will they go for Stokes to be retained? I'm not sure, but who else you can retain in the team? Hey, okay, fine. Who's the other star?
No one. But unless they want to really groom a talent, I would really pick Rian Parag or someone like that.
See, the one issue I have with Rian Parag is you can still get him in RTM if you want him. Because
no, definitely. But I mean, I don't really want to use RCB as an example over here, but they retained Sarfaraz Khan over KL Rahul. I mean, like I said, I don't want to use RCB as a prime example, but they didn't play Sarfaraz for the season 3 matches probably. But
Exactly, right?
no,
I still think how would you retain Rayan Parag? I'm not sure whether he has done
no,
enough or
maybe
not
not
sure.
doing enough. But if they want to really groom him or something,
Uh, See, retention is not just about saying, "Hey, I can groom him." Because if I throw him an auction, how much do you think Rayan Parag is going to go? Is he going to go for 10 crores? I don't
no,
think
no,
so.
no, I don't think so.
You can still use RTM, or you can even buy him back easily, because see,
Yeah,
Rayan Parag is a fantastic talent. I think he will be a great player if he continues to improve. But
yeah,
as we stand, he's not consistent. He has not shown enough games.
yeah,
He has not shown enough that, hey, there is a match winner, right? Uh,
yeah.
he has done that far and few in between. So retaining him would be like retaining Sarfaraz Khan. You are
Okay,
not sure whether you will play him, but
okay,
you would want him in the team. That's the way I
yeah,
see it. So maybe Tevatia, if you want to retain, uh,
okay,
because he has done a lot more for you, and maybe he would go for a little bit of a bigger money because he looks
yeah,
out and out a T20 mold of player.
yeah.
So if not Ben Stokes, if you say no, we are not going for Ben Stokes, we are not retaining
Remember, there
him.
can be only 2 foreigners in both RTM and retention put together. So
Right. So I mean, if they're not going for Ben Stokes, I really see the only other option being Tavatia.
okay,
Who else would you retain? Sakaria also they can. I think they
RTM,
can get him in auction.
RTM,
He will go for few crores, no doubt at all. But will you retain him? I mean, see, I think you can answer better when
yeah,
you see at the end of this IPL, because you don't know. Sakaria could be one of the leading wicket takers or one of their best bowlers.
yeah,
Then you would say, hey, you know what, you have to retain him because he will go
yeah,
for 10 crores then.
yeah.
So
I
right
mean,
now,
I
as
can't
we
say.
stand,
I
I
mean,
think I
I
think it will be Tevatia, third one.
okay, but maybe RR will actually go. I mean, I don't know about what Archer says on that, but I think RR will go that way. Probably,
Mhm.
it's likely.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe chances are
I,
there. Yeah, they
yeah.
could.
I mean, RTM. I don't really want to stress upon it too much. RTM is based on how the auction progresses for them.
Yeah, true.
Because
True.
now,
I
if I
think I
say,
think I think if it comes to RTM, they will let go of Stokes. That's what my gut feel is, because
yeah,
if you end up spending more than 8 9, I
yeah,
don't think they will do that mistake of going for Stokes again for that price.
yeah. And Unadkat is someone who they should use.
See,
Look,
again.
Aditya, he's been expensive at the auction and at the ground. It's just
See, I really don't think Unatkat is a bad IPL bowler,
no,
right?
no. He's.
Uh,
I'm just saying that he. There's no reason why he needs to be expensive at the auction.
See, I think a lot of people have come out and said IPL auction has a very different dynamics. It's not just about the talent; it's also
Yeah,
about the availability of players that you have and
yeah,
who will fit in your team and what is that you are expecting out of that auction. That's very important. It's not just a pure talent that go for big price, right?
yeah.
So it's about the availability as I said, it's about what you want. So, Unatkat, they can still use RTM, or they can go and buying back in the auction, because everyone is spending 8 to 9 crore on Unatkat. So I don't see that price going up. So I think you can leave him out and you can buy him back. It's possible.
Yeah, no. Leave him out and buy him back is probably the best option right now.
Yeah, I think it's the best option.
Anyway,
Cool.
uh, Adi, thanks so much. You've been here with us for 2 hours. I didn't
Yeah, I
realize
mean,
it would take.
who's your pick for tonight's game? Who do you think will win?
I feel it's going to be CSK as well. For the same reasons you said,
Hmm.
it's just purely momentum, isn't it? Supposing it's the first match of the auction, first match of the IPL, I'll probably give
Hmm.
it a 50-50 or probably 100,
Right.
0 because Mumbai's first match problems.
Hmm.
So I'll probably go 100-0 for CSK.
See how things change in a season time. No?
I know.
That's sport.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Aditya.
Yeah.
To viewers, please follow us, Cricket Fan Zone. The link of that is right there in this video. It's in the description. Do check it out. Aditya, hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yep, sure. Thanks a lot, Ani, for having me. Have a good one, and yeah, we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, enjoy the match.
Take care,
and
man.
everyone, happy El Clasico.